Hi everyone. How are you guys doing? Feel like that I'm using my computer camera for a mirror. Like we don't even need mirrors anymore. Are they gonna become obsolete as well? Just like handheld cameras and camcorders and stuff? Probably. Our phone can just do everything. Oh wow, I just had like a philosophical insight, but it's backwards for me, so I'm reaching to the right, but yeah. Anyways, it's like an inverse reflection of ourselves, society, and stuff. Whew, I'm not going down that road tangent. All this freaking air energy going on with the stars right now has got me like, my brain is going crazy with it. I'm gonna stop. Okay, whatever. This new moon is, or full moon is like busy. I think that's a good word for it. It's like a live wire. It feels like that's what it feels like to me. What does it feel like to you guys? I guess if you have a lot of mutable energy in your chart, like strong Mercury placements, strong Jupiter placements probably too, but especially like Mercury, air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, then it's gonna be a little bit crazier. But like you're used to the crazy with those mutable placements and the air energy, it's not as overwhelming if that's what you're used to, because like that's your baseline. See, I'm like rambling my speeches. I like to be still and quiet in my Scorpio space. But this is good. I like this new moon. I'm having fun with it, and I think that's part of the point. Let me pull up the chart. Current moment, because the full moon is tonight. Why do I keep saying new moon? It's happening in some hours. Where's my other notebook? Oh well. I think I left it in the living room with my tarot cards. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Should I share my screen now? Look at me questioning my action. Gosh, that's so Mars and Libra and has so much to do with this new moon thing going on. Full moon. See, I did it again. Here we go. Let's get this pulled up. I think it's like is that right? 16:48 and 59. Oh, we need to go up a couple more minutes. 8 and 59. Really? Oh my gosh. I'm going to get it together, guys. 49. 50. I want to get it exact because I'm a dork. Okay, there we go. 2:54 a.m. if you're in the Memphis, Chicago time zone. So like around 3 a.m. But that's like right now, tonight kind of thing. You know how it goes with these moons. This ebb and flow, and one thing like flowing into another. There's no like clear separation. And here I am trying to get it exact. That is crazy. You see all this geometry that's happening? There are so many aspects going on with this moon. I'm going to try to focus on the main ones, like the main message, and then I'll touch into as many as I can or feel like I should. Weigh in the action. That's what we're doing. That's what it's all about. I'm going to pull it up on my phone so I can just keep an eye on everything, because that's how I like to do that. Okay, there we go. Awesome. All right. Aquarius. Aquarius is a big energy. By big, I don't mean like imposing. I mean like it, like something that runs through everything. Like the collective consciousness, like the internet, like your whole neurological system. That's Aries. It's the network, right? And when you're connected to that many things, when everything is connected to itself, there's this knowing, like capital K in knowing. And that's sort of what Aquarius represents, is this knowing. Like everything is sort of out in the open. There's no boundaries. There's no limitations. Like it's all out there. Society is represented by Aquarius, or Aquarius represents society. Probably both. The struggle with Aquarius, like the lesson with Aquarius, is for us to find our place in the world, not just our place, but find our connection. How are we connected to the world, and how is the world connected to us? Like, where do we fit in this big network of everything? But as with all the air signs, it's like a paradox of self and other, because you can't be connected to the other unless you have the other, and there can't be an other without you having yourself. Does that make sense? Like, it's the paradox of opposites. Is that an oxymoron? That's probably a paradox in and of itself. The reason something is hot is because we know that it's not cold. The reason that something is tall is because it's not short. So they need each other. The other is not the other unless you are yourself. And you are not yourself unless you're not the other. So it's existing in both worlds at the same time, sort of. That's why it's like everything. And why it feels sort of alien and transcendent. Like, I always think about, especially with the air stuff in astrology, I think about that movie Lucy, excuse me, with Scarlett Johansson. I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but like, if you've seen at the end of that movie and the whole thing with like the supercomputer or whatever it is that happens at the end, you know what I'm talking about? Like, that's Aquarius. And it's so different from being present, being here in the material world, being like physical and limited by the structure of reality. So it's about reconciling that whole thing. Basically what it comes down to is being yourself in the world. Like when I said finding your place in the world, if you think about any sort of network, every little individual thing, unit, has a specific job, a specific task. And without it, like the whole network breaks down, right? If you, I don't know, don't have pistons in your car engine, then your car engine is not going to run. Yes, the pistons are part of the whole car, the whole engine, but they have to do what they need to do, not what they're supposed to do, because I feel like that implies connotations of societal conditioning, but what they need to do, right? What is it that you need to do? That's kind of what this whole full moon comes down to. And I feel like, because we're going to talk about it, like there's so many outer planet transits happening, and like where those outer planets are during those like it feels like there's this shift toward people being themselves, right? And I think that's something that's kind of trending more and more lately. People are worried about AI because it takes the humanity out of it. AI is just almost like a manifestation of the internet itself into like a human form, which we can get really philosophical and esoteric about that too, but not right now. There's no humanity to it. There's no whatever it is that makes us human, that spark is not in AI, right? So we're kind of tired of subconsciously wondering if what we're looking at is real or not. That creative element. When I say that creative element, I mean like AI, whatever people create with AI is great. I've played with it myself, and I think it's cool because there are things that I'm not able to do, especially artistically, and I can just tell AI, this is what I want it to look like, and it will create that thing for me. But the creativity, the creative element is me. I'm the one directing it, right? It comes from me. AI is just the tool that helps me do the thing. Like paint is a tool. It's like a medium, right? We'll call it a medium, not just a tool. I guess it's the tool and the medium, because you have the paint and the paintbrush, but then AI can do both of those things for you. Or maybe the computer is the tool. I don't know. Anyways, with this full moon in Aquarius, it's opposing the sun in Leo, right? Leo is, you can almost think about it like this. If Aquarius is the world, right? The network, the society, it's almost like an audience. Leo is the stage. And this is where the sun is. The sun is at home in Leo. We talked about during the new moon in Leo, we talked about how the sun being in its own place really helps you, because because the sun is about, hang on, let me stop. Let me get rid of some of this earth energy for a second. I mean, some of this air energy and get some more earth energy. Maybe I need a crystal. Hang on. I'm going to grab some black tourmaline to ground myself. Okay, so the sun is your personality. It's what in Freudian terms can be considered your ego, but not ego like you have a big head about things and you think you're the shit. Ego like just your self-expression, your waking consciousness, right? Leo is all about creative self-expression. Leo is the stage where we do that. You know, we talked about like the actors and stuff and how you just really get into the role and the character. So since they're across from each other, Leo is the stage and Aquarius is the audience. How are you showing up? What are you giving for the audience to receive? And then there's an element of what are you getting back from the audience that sort of compels you to keep going, maybe, because you need that feedback. Leo, when anything that's in Leo needs attention, right? It needs like positive reinforcement almost. Stephen Forrest uses a really good example in his Book of Fire when he talks about a little kid on a swing and they're like, hey, look at me, especially with their parents, because they're expressing themselves like, hey, look at this thing I'm doing, look at this action, I'm look at this like this action that I really like. I like to do this. It's sort of part of who I am. I enjoy this. I get a thrill out of this. I want you to see it. I want you to pay attention to it. Don't just like recognize it. Don't just glimpse at it. Like I want you to see it. I want you to be like, wow, like I want to have your complete focus and attention. I think this might be a side note, but I think that's why like it's so important to recognize people's creativity no matter what. Like take care of our artists, you know, let them know, hey, we see you. I like that. On social media a lot, I see artists who, you know, put their work out there and just liking it, just like sharing it or commenting. It's so meaningful. It's almost more meaningful than if you purchase some of their artwork, which is good too because they have to feed themselves. But any person who is creative and like that's what they do for a living is their creativity. The attention they get from other people is very meaningful. It's like, you see me, and we all need to be seen. With the moon being on the audience's side of it, it's reflecting that light back to you. So it's like this unique, completely unique, like totally comes from you, not conditioned by anything around you. It's a genuine self-expression that comes up and out of you. How is it being received? And the full moon is like reflecting that reception back to us and helping us pick up on the fact that we are seen by others. We are seen by society. Not whatever gimmick we're doing, not what we're doing to blend in with society, the thing that makes us stand out, the thing that makes you uniquely you. We're talking about your fire here, your passion, your life force. This full moon is helping us see that. And I think it's beautiful. Can I say that? I think it's beautiful. That light, the moon's light, is like nourishing for us. It nurtures us. I think nurture is a better word than nourish, especially in this case. It's nurturing us to help us grow more, to help us be ourselves more. Because if people like what you do, then you're going to keep doing it, right? But what about when they don't like what you do? Well, that's kind of what we're going to talk about. How to build this confidence and self-expression. And please understand, when I say self-expression, I don't mean like jumping on some trend because, you know, this is the thing that's hip right now. I mean, like, if you could just put on like shutters and not have any outside influence, what would you do? That's a key question. So keep that in mind. Write that down if you want to journal about it. If there was no outside influence, if I had no outside influence, what would I do? How would I express myself? What choices would I make? So what inspires you to act? Lean into those things, follow those things. They make you unique. And that's how you do the Aquarius space for real. It's like you work on your stuff or your stuff works on you. You can either do the Aquarius space or the Aquarius space does you, right? Are you going to be yourself in the world, or are you going to let the world tell you how to be? We can't have it both ways. If your genuine self-expression is something that just happens to be really trendy right now, go for it. All that matters is that it is genuine. There's a lot of fire and air in this chart. There's not very much water or earth, right? So the fire and the air, those are the external forces or the masculine energies, right? They're moving out. Fire moves out and up. Air moves out and up. Earth and water, those are the internal or the feminine energies. There's not a lot of that. So the main focus, like with this energy, or the main expression of this energy is expression. Really, it's about your thoughts and your actions. What drives you? What drives you to think, and what thoughts compel you to act? There's an interplay. When I say there's a lot of fire and air and opposing stuff, like fire is always across from air in the zodiac, right? Like there's Aries, there's Libra, fire, air. Fire, Sagittarius, air, Gemini. Fire, Leo, air, Aquarius. And then water and earth are always across from each other. When you have an opposition, it's almost like a tug of war, right? But really it feels like a tug of war, but what it really is somebody on this side saying, hey, I want you to do that thing this way. And on the other side, they're like, hey, I want you to do that same thing, but this way. So it's like having two opposing ideas about the same thing to get the same result or for the same purpose, however you want to say it. Air is always about how can I see things differently. It's always about perspective. It doesn't matter which air sign it is, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Like I said, there's always the other aspect. So it's always about seeing things from your perspective and seeing things from this other perspective. There's a give and take that has to be balanced. There has to be a give and there has to be a take when things are mutable. If things become more take, then they're more fixed. If they become more give, then that's more like cardinal type stuff. And that's throwing it out of balance. We want to keep it balanced. So there has to be a give and take. Whatever your balance is, because it's different for everybody, but whatever keeps your scale even with the give and the take. What is it worth, right? What is the value? If you see on Facebook Marketplace, somebody is selling a freaking, I don't know, a Bentley for $5,000. That's out of balance, right? The value, the worth there, that's out of balance. If you see somebody selling a Bentley for like $500,000, why do you think it's worth that much? Like, it's still, you know what I mean? Like, so the balance has to be there. The value, your value. You have to understand your value and recognize your value. The things that you create, your commodity or your whatever it is about you, yourself, that you are the thing that you create and are putting out in the world. Understand the value of that and make sure that you are getting what you're worth, that you are not taking less than your worth and not demanding more than your worth. I think that's a good way to sum up the Leo Aquarius axis. Trust your intuition to move forward, because the moon represents your intuition, your subconscious, right? Trust it to lead you where you need to go in the world, in the network of things. Trust your intuition so you don't get lost or overwhelmed by that network. I wrote my notes on 2 different pages, and they're split into 2 different sections on 2 different pages. Man. The magician is supposed to tell the planets where to go, not let the planets tell them where to go. Who was it that said that? Was that? I don't know. One of those theological people. Anyways. So since everything is in fire and air, there's a lot of opposition, like I said, and we're going to talk about some of those oppositions. Hey, can you chill out a little bit? That's my opposition right now. My voice and Lethan's voice are in opposition. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to talk about first. So we talked a little bit about the sun and the moon. Since we're on the sun and the moon, yeah, we can go into that. Okay. You see how Mercury it's not conjunct with the sun, but it's still in Leo, right? And it's retrograde. And then there's Jupiter over here. Pluto over here that is not conjunct with the moon, but it's in the same sign. It's in Aquarius, right? And look, Pluto is retrograde too. Why does that matter? the sun is fire and Leo is fire, right? So you got 2 fire and then 1 Mercury, which can be air or earth. Over here, you got the moon and you got Pluto, which is water and water. So you got 2 fire, and then there's Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn and can be air or earth. Saturn can be air or earth. So there's like this fire and air. How do you integrate that? Like, what is the course of action? What direction should you take? What should help you? Like, how do you know where to aim or whatever you want to call it? How do you get there? How do you integrate those two? You got to use the air-earth connection, right? Especially air, because this is Aquarius. Think about it. There's so much thought process in this whole chart where we're really thinking about, what is it that makes me me? What do I want to bring to the world? How is that going to affect everything, right? How are people going to take it? Should I do this or should I do that? The reason for that is because Mars is down here in Libra. Mars is our self-assertiveness, like our fight or flight instinct that gets sophisticated into self-assertion. So it's what we do. It's our behaviors. It's our action. In Libra, air, the balance between self and other, it's like Libra's so diplomatic. It wants things to be fair and even and equal, and they don't have to be the same, totally different, but equal, you know? So Mars is really in this place where it's like trying to balance that. That's why we feel this urge to act, to do, and why we're spending so much time thinking about it. So lean into that, think about it, right? Continue to think, because Mars and Mercury are like sextile. So that means they're working really well together right now. They like working together. They're excited about working together. Mars is sort of like helping you think about it, helping Mercury help you think about it. And Mercury is like giving Mars the information it needs to make the move, to do the thing. I really should have wrote these down better. It's cool though. I'm trying to think of like the best way to explain this. It's one of those things that happens where I feel it and it's like the big picture in my head, but how do I articulate it? Articulation is sort of the same thing as constructing, because we're taking this idea and we're trying to construct words that can come out, right? That's what this is. That's what I'm trying to say. The thing that you feel inside you that is truly and uniquely you, how do you articulate that? How do you figure out how to put it together into this thing that can be presented to the world? I feel like it's not about the end result. It's not about the thing that you're going to create that's going to come into the world. It's about that process. It's about channeling your passion, connecting to your passion so you can channel it, connecting to your life force so you can channel it. And that requires you to be here now and just work with that. Throw the ideas around. Don't be afraid to think about it. Don't feel the need to get to the end. Like, don't feel like you have to rush it. I know people might be expecting it, expecting you to do this or that or whatever, but okay, just wait a minute. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to present this yet. It's still cooking. Let it cook. The ideas are in there somewhere. Yeah, you can have that. And the moon is going to help you pull them out, right? The moon is reflecting it back to you. So just let the moon do its thing. Let your thoughts think. A lot of meditation is it's not about shutting down the thoughts, stopping the thoughts. It's about just recognizing the thoughts as they come and not becoming attached to them. I'm pretty sure I've talked about that before. So just let your thoughts go. Which ones should you attach yourself to? Like, oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Is it gonna, if I think about doing this, Mars and Libra, it might look like this. If I think about doing that, it might look like that. Just let it go, let it flow. Let the energy go through the channel, right? Let your thoughts, let your neurons fire like they're supposed to. Don't worry about what you're going to do just yet. Oh, where did I write that down? See what I mean? Like, oh, here it is. Trust that the structure will come if you stay engaged. So a while back, I don't know how long it's been, a year or so or more, maybe. Anyways, I was really focused on like Saturn energy. I need more structure in my life. I need more structure in my business. I need to, do this and this and this. I was trying to like invoke all this Saturn energy onto everything. And there was nothing for Saturn to shape. Like there was nothing there for me to, like there was no raw material, right? So how are you going to form something if you haven't even provided the elements to be formed? Right now we're just finding those elements. We're finding what it is that we're like finding our direction. It's really like a trust the process type thing. You can't, if you have nothing, nothing can't take form, right? You have to have something to take form. So don't worry about what the form is, what it's going to look like. Don't worry about any of that. Just worry about finding the things, the elements that will eventually be formed down the road, but we're not on that step yet. What do you want to express? And you might have even, I feel like we've been weighing this out a lot because of the whole Saturn-Neptune thing that's going on. And now it's like, it's really getting into Aries. So there's this energy of something that we've imagined taking shape and being given life, right? Creation. So I feel like this is something that we have been thinking about for a while. You, me, whoever, society. And now everything is just like all these other little things are lining up to make us really focus on it more, to like hone in on the process. Like first it was just kind of out there because Neptune is just kind of out there, easy peasy, whatever. Now it's really starting to become a path. So once I realized that I couldn't do the Saturn thing until I did the Mars thing, I was like, okay, I got it now. Once I started like focusing on the action that I was taking, what I wanted to do, then I had something to work with, like clay, if there's, you got to have all the elements, you got to have the material, you got to have the movement, then you can shape it. You got to have all that stuff. Just do the thing and it will take form. And know that and be okay with that. Trust your intuition to lead you where you need to go. It's not about having all the answers. We're not even on that question yet. Why are you trying to answer it? Let's just focus on this thing that we're doing right now. All of this air energy can feel overwhelming. And all of this fire energy can feel like we're being rushed or we need to move, we need to do. If you can sit still with that and just be aware of it, just notice it, just sort of don't let it push you or pull you one way, just observe it. That level of self-awareness is like life-changing. I'll just put it that way. It will help you feel so much more in control when you don't allow the thoughts to control you, or you don't allow yourself to be consumed or overwhelmed by the thoughts. Like, it's tiring. It's tiring. Like, yeah, I know I need to do a million things, but this thing that I need to do, I can't even do it until 3 days from now. So why am I stressed about it right now? That sort of thing. One of the things that I thought about was music, using music to like ground you if you need to, or sort of help focus. If you're really into all that like air, fire energy, if that's your jam, using music to sort of help you focus which direction you want to go with it, or make it not so scattered, to sort of like rein it in a little bit. So if you need to ground, if you need to kind of quiet the noise a little bit, listen to some music that will help you do that. Music is like air and earth. It's music. I don't know if there is I really like the creative expression of music. I'll just say that. So listen to some music that will ground you if that's what you need. If you want to go crazy with the air and the fire and see how far you can push it, then listen to music that correlates with that too, but I feel like that will bring it more into, it'll take it from like our mind into our body, is what I'm trying to say. Like, we won't feel like we're overthinking it, or there's just like thoughts with no, like we're not attached to the thoughts. Can you chill out? It'll make us, it'll establish a relationship between us and our thoughts. Music. That's what I like to use music for. So whatever energy you're feeling, or whatever energy you want to feel, find some music to go with that and help you bring them together. Oh my goodness. All right. There's a couple of aspects in this chart called kites. A kite is when you have like the sextile we were talking about with Neptune. Okay. Where's the other one? Yeah, so we were talking about Mercury, right? And Mercury sextile in Mars. Well, Mercury is also sextile in Uranus. And Uranus is very lightning strike. It's like, oh, that idea just hit me out of nowhere. It's that sort of thing. And it's in Gemini. I'm struggling with Uranus and Gemini right now. Whew. Because I'm coming up on my Uranus opposition, and that's making my mind feel like it's split in two or something sometimes. But this sextile with Mercury being connected to Uranus, and it's connected to Mars. And then on the other side of that, you have Pluto. So ask yourself, what are you thinking about creating, right? Mercury and Leo, what are we thinking about creating? It's being encouraged to keep thinking about that because Mars is over here in Libra helping them weigh options, and Uranus is over here in Gemini with like the, geez, I don't even know what to call this. It's like this very non-judgmental awareness of things, the Gemini spaces. So Uranus and Gemini can pull ideas from anywhere. It's aware of all the things, all the ideas. It sees everything. It's communicating with everything. And it can find one that's like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. And bring them to Mercury to help you think about it. So Mercury is being supported by Uranus and Mars. That's a good thing. They're all working very well together right now. And then the focal point of that is Pluto over here in Aquarius. And what is Pluto in Aquarius? The societal conditioning, right? So Pluto in Aquarius is really helping you figure out on a psychological level if it's this creative thing that you want to do or this thing that you want to create. Is it true self-expression or is it influenced by society? Uranus is also encouraging you to try it, right? It's like, hey. Mars is kind of weighing out. Mars doesn't necessarily like to be in Libra because it becomes very strategic and logical, and Mars doesn't like to slow down and think about things. It likes to just do. But when Mars does slow down and consider which action to take, it makes that action so much more impactful. Because we have Pluto here, it's not just about the societal conditioning or whatever. It's about the fear that's at the root of that societal conditioning. Why do you do things a certain way? Why do you follow along with this or that? Here's one. Why do you not pee on yourself in public? Because you've been socially conditioned not to. If we were never potty trained, like if potty training wasn't a thing that was accepted in society and expected by society, we wouldn't even think about it. We wouldn't consider it at all. But now we have a fear of peeing on ourselves in public, right? Pluto and Aquarius. Mercury opposing this Pluto is sort of like facing that fear. What is it that I want to create, that I want to do, that I'm afraid of doing because of this other, the society, another person, whatever the Aquarius thing is, right? The audience. Maybe they won't like this skit. Maybe they won't like this joke. Who gives a shit? I mean, you want to use good judgment, and that's a whole other thing. But I feel like these three guys over here, Uranus and Mars, are helping Mercury face that fear. I mean, you can face that fear with the intelligence of Mercury, with the like Mercury can go wherever he wants. He can go into the underworld. He can go into the mortal realm. He can go into the heavens on Mount Olympus. Wait, that was Hermes. You know what I mean? Mercury can go wherever. Mercury doesn't need to fear where he's going, where he's thinking about going, what he's thinking about doing. And he's got Uranus and Mars to back him up, right? So that's the one thing. That's the one big kite thing. The other one, we've got Saturn and Neptune that we talked about. This thing from our imagination, the whole what if thing that we want to give form and shape to and manifest into the real world. It's opposing Mars, right? Mars is like, I don't know. Should I do this? I want to do something, but I don't know if I should do this or I should do this. So sometimes it's hard for Mars to slow down and choose one because Mars isn't spending adequate time pondering. Mars is too worried about doing instead of figuring out what to do first. Uranus is sextiling Neptune and Saturn, and Pluto is sextiling Neptune and Saturn. So Neptune and Saturn are being supported by Uranus and Pluto. Uranus, again, encouraging you to try it. Uranus and Gemini, hey, here's an idea. You should do this. Go for it. You got this. And Pluto's like, is this a true expression of yourself? Don't worry about what society wants. Don't let them condition you. You can do this. I really feel like Pluto is our cheerleader in that way, with that voice, our dark, quiet cheerleader that doesn't come across as a cheerleader, but it's in there. So yeah, that's those two energies are supporting Saturn and Neptune, and it's gonna help the thing take shape. It's gonna help it come alive in Aries, because Aries is where things are born. It's that sudden burst of life force, right? So it's okay that Mars is down here helping you weigh your options and think about the action. It's still like the whole freaking chart is just think about what you want to do that comes from you and do it, and weighing it with yourself, weighing it with society, or with whatever thing that, you know, it could be like, I don't fucking know, like, I really need to move one kid's room to another room, but how is this going to affect everybody type thing. It can be like any decision you're trying to make where you're going to do something or you're going to create a new thing. There's this Venus and Jupiter. We haven't talked about that. Before I go to that, I want to go back to this Mars Saturn Neptune thing. Like this opposition, you can sort of feel like you're having to choose between yourself and someone else, choosing between what you want and what somebody else wants. like the action you choose to take is based on the struggle between yourself and others. But Saturn and Neptune are in Aries. They're in Mars's house, right? Mars's first home. And I feel like this is saying choose yourself, like not be a selfish asshole, but choose the self-expression, because when you put that out there, it's going to be well received and it's going to serve other people, and it's serving you because you're doing the thing you wanted to do anyways. It's sort of like you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. You got to charge your own batteries so you have energy to give other people, that sort of thing. I feel like that's what this opposition is. That's what this connection is between Mars and Saturn and Neptune. All right, back to Venus and Jupiter. Where did I write down the aspects for these guys? Jeez. I know at first they seem like they're kind of out here because everything is like fire and air. And then here we got Venus and Jupiter in a water sign in Cancer. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Well, first, it's like going to be trining the North Node soon in like a month or so, a couple months. So that's important because, the North Node is sort of like the overall general goal, sort of gives us something to strive for. But also, just them by themselves, separately from, because the aspects are kind of, they're not as connected by aspect as the other things in the chart. Hey, will you go in there or take her in there? So it feels like they're sort of off on their own little island over here in Cancer, in their little crabby shell. Like maybe they're being hermits, but they're not. Venus and Jupiter, the greater benefics, right? Because they're all things good. We know how that goes. Venus is your connection, like an emotional connection, not like a neurological connection. It's like Robert Greene uses the term primal inclinations. And I love that so much. And that's so Venusian to me, because it's like, what are your primal inclinations? What are you, what's like hardwired into you that you like, that brings you pleasure, that you desire, right? That's Venus. That's the sort of Venus connections that I'm talking about. And Jupiter is like expansion and potential and yes, saying yes. When you put those two together, good things should happen, right? Oh, I'm gonna win a lottery dream home or something. I don't know. But in Cancer, it becomes so personal and so emotional and so like feeling the feelings. So to me, Venus and Jupiter in Cancer have this sort of, it feels like an inner feeling of abundance. Like you feel abundant with what you've done or with what you have. It's the feeling of satisfaction is not good enough. Really thoroughly enjoying the moment and like a gratitude, appreciation, knowing what a big deal it is. It's like that sort of personal, victorious abundance that's inside of you. That's what this feels like. This again has sort of a trust your intuition to move forward kind of thing. Because Venus is about what we connect to. So like the things that we like that bring us joy, the things that we desire, things that sustain us, the things we're attached to. There has to be a level of trust in that. When you, like, think about kids that don't get what they need from the people that they are bonded with when they're little, when they're babies, with the people that they're attached to, that they have that Venusian connection with. What happens? They don't trust. They don't trust the world. They don't trust that they're going to have what they need. So trust your intuition, which is water, the moon, Cancer. The moon lives in Cancer, right? Trust that intuition to move you forward. Jupiter, it's fire and water, but it's gonna help you go. It's gonna show you your potential and help you reach it. You're gonna say yes to your potential. Just trust your intuition to move you into your potential. Oh, there's my notes. I wrote them sideways. That's why it looks like that. There's some interesting things going on with the sun and moon. And with the moon and Jupiter and Venus. So Venus is, I wouldn't normally talk about these aspects, but I'm going to, because I feel like it's important, and it just, like, these are really like minor aspects, and I talk about them sometimes, but it's one of, like, remember in the beginning when I was like, I'm not going to focus on those things, I'm going to focus on the bigger things, and then maybe talk about the other stuff. This is the other stuff that I was talking about, but it backs up this whole thing. It supports it. Where's that thing? Give me 1 second. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Crap. That's what I wanted. Okay. So with Venus and the moon, this aspect is called biquintile. They're 144 degrees apart. If they were 150 degrees apart, it would be a quincunx, but they're 144 degrees apart. This is like, 144 is one of those occult numbers that shows up and it's like, oh, the 144,000. And you see it referenced when there's a call, like the call for transcendence, right? It reinforces that whole trust in your intuition thing. And then Jupiter, because it's a couple degrees or 3 degrees ahead, it's doing like this really weird in-between aspect kind of thing. If it was 144 degrees, it would be a biquintile. If it was 150 degrees, it would be a quincunx, which is all about like shared creativity and like I see you over there, and I think we could do something together. There's something about you, but I don't know what it is. It's that kind of energy. Jupiter's right smack dab in between those energies. If it was 3 degrees this way or 3 degrees that way, it would be on one of those, but it's not. It's right in the middle. And honestly, I don't know what to make of that. It feels like it's saying, yeah, this person could be the one. That person over there that you kind of see in the corner of the room that you feel like they've got what you need and you've got what they need kind of thing. They could be the one. They could have like this big impact. It could potentially be like divine, a divine relationship sort of thing. And I really like it. And then I guess the last thing I want to say about this that I really noticed, so we've got the grand trine with the air, with Uranus, Pluto, and Mars. That's a grand trine. And we almost have a grand trine with fire because we've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and then Mercury down here. See, these are 1 degree, 1 degree, 4 degrees, 1 degree Mars, 2 degrees Pluto. So those sextiles are really tight. The only thing we're missing is something over here between like 1 and 4 degrees of Sagittarius. That's the only external sign, masculine sign that's not represented. That's not, that doesn't have any planets camping out right now. If we had something there, that would make this a grand sextile, which is like, how often does that happen? Probably freaking never. I don't know. I don't have fancy astrology software to pull up when that happens for me. But I always feel like when you have a lot of, it's almost like the something that's missing. I feel like it's important to pay attention to the something that's missing. Like this whole thing would be a full grand sextile if we had something in Sagittarius. I feel like it's important to pay attention to that because it feels to me like if we can bring that energy, if we can create that energy for the chart, because all the other energies are being provided for us, if we can find it in ourselves to bring that energy, then it completes the circuit and it lights it up for us, right? So I think that this is what I wrote down. If you can have the courage to bring engaging, purposeful fire, life force, it will light this hexagon up, which is what a grand sextile looks like. It's a hexagon. Ooh, how esoteric is that, right? How magical. Sagittarius is where we are resurrected. It's I like to say it's sort of where we slay the dragon. So, you know, it's got the arrow, and it's like the moment you take hold of that sword, the dragon is slain. If you get those references. Meaningful engagement is what Sagittarius is always about. Meaningful experience. In order to have meaningful experience, you have to engage with things that don't have any meaning to you yet. You have to go find the meaning, and you have to Stay true to yourself while you do that. It's also ruled by Jupiter. So Sagittarius is not to be taken lightly. If we can have the courage, which is a Leo thing, and it's a fire thing, right? Having courage to bring our own life force and engage that life force with the world, with whatever. If we can have the courage to create the thing and let people see it, to show our audience, if we can have the courage to stand on the stage and show the audience, man, I got chills. I feel like because of the setup, like because of the way the energy is situated, it's going to have a way, way bigger impact than what it normally would if things weren't situated the way they were. Like a transcendental type of life-changing importance. That's not me trying to tell you, oh, you better do this or else. Not that at all. If you feel that way, that's not my intention. Because it's scary. That's why I said courage, because it is scary to be yourself or to show people, hey, look, I drew this picture. You know, that's a scary thing. Look at this thing I made. But think about it like how people are with their pets or their kids, and they're just like, oh, look at this picture, look at this picture, look at this picture. Oh, let me tell you about what my dog did. Let me tell you about what my kids did. Let me tell you about what they said. Children are creation, right? So whatever it is that you're creating, bring that same energy, that same pride, that same, like, gives a shit if it gets on somebody's nerves. They can unfollow you on social media if they don't want to see all the pictures. They can, there's all sorts of settings and options where they can adjust that. That's a them and their perspective thing. Like, they don't have to be focused on you. Let them focus on whatever they want. That's not your concern. Your concern is, I love this thing and I want to show it to everybody. I want to express it. I want it to be seen. I love it so much I just can't help but show it off. Have that same love toward yourself, that same energy toward yourself with everything that you create. Because whatever it is that you put out there is of you. It's from you. So it is you. And you got to have that same level of enthusiasm about it. Yeah. I think that's all of it. I think that's everything I want to say. And I think it came together pretty well in the end. Despite all this air and fire going everywhere, just air feeds the fire. It's just a blah. It gets out of control. But if that's what you're into, again, gotta learn to be a pyrotechnician tonight. That's what I feel like I've been doing. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for joining live or watching the replay. I hope you enjoy the full moon tonight. I hope you get something from it, whatever it is that you're ready to get out of it. And I hope that you don't sell yourself short. You might be ready for more than what you think. You might be capable of more than what you think. So, I'll see you guys later.